Welcome to Blue Jays Today's Wine on Wine, where you know what it is. The boys are here, kicking off the weekend, talking some Blue Jays, talking some baseball. In this one, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a little bit of a scary sight today, exits the game. What? Is he okay? What's going on there? As well as Kevin Gausman's debut and some other Blue Jays spring training notes, rumors, and all the updates. I'm excited, guys. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and yes, I was at work, and I was doing my work, as usual at work, and I see on my phone, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. exits the game. And I'm like, oh God, the panic, the alarms,
right?
They're going off, bro.
Yeah,
they're going off.
Yeah.
How can I focus on my work when my star player could be hurt? How can I do that? So going to Twitter, all we knew at the time, and we'll go look at it right now, is that Buddy was just leaving the game. He was rounding second base and apparently got hurt at second base. That's all we know. And it had to do something with coming into the second. Let's see if they show it here. And they don't. But that right there, him going into second, him stopping right there, caused the injury.
Yeah, and it's with his knee, if I'm not mistaken, right? It is. Do we know what side of knee that is?
No idea really right now.
Okay, one of, if not both, of Guerrero's knees are probably one. Probably one, I'd imagine.
Imagine both
knees.
Oh,
God. No. We don't want to put that in the universe, man. That's just bad news bears if that's the thing. But apparently, one of Guerrero's knees is dealing with some discomfort. Now, Ben Nicholson-Smith came out later today and spoke and effectively said that he is considered day-to-day. That is per John Schneider, so literally straight from the horse's mouth here, who also expressed optimism that Guerrero Jr. will be fine. So it could be fine, apparently, says John Schneider.
Yeah.
And they're also saying that they're going to evaluate him tomorrow, and no MRI is planned.
That's good.
As far as I'm concerned, that's kind of like the biggest thing right there, because like the MRI, whenever they start planning at the MRI,
that's not good.
That's typically when the team is thinking, this is not a good thing. So they don't even think this warrants an MRI, which is always good for the Jays, good for Guerrero.
Right, absolutely, obviously good for Guerrero, but I just can't get this off my mind, bro. Like, yeah, he's hurt. I think they did a great job making him leave the game. Like they don't want to risk anything, any discomfort ban here in spring training. But then you've got the World Baseball Classic, and he's leaving this Sunday to get ramped up. He's got to get up to maximum game speed, giving it his all. I'm worried. Are you worried about that?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I hope that Guerrero is going to be smart about this. I think that by the way that he's been speaking, the MLB season is really important to him, and he wants to have a really solid year. I hope that kind of the adrenaline and the bright lights of the World Baseball Classic, being with some of your fellow peers, isn't going to cause him to overexert himself.
See, but that's why I think I would overexert myself. There's a lot of national pride in that. You know what I mean?
I'm trusting Guerrero to know his body better than anybody.
Right,
and I'll also say this too: if no MRI is needed, if they don't even feel like they're not even concerned, they're going to evaluate tomorrow. It's no big deal. No more MRIs.
Maybe it's just nothing.
That's what I mean.
It's completely
Maybe
nothing.
It's just nothing, right? It's like literally, like if I get hit in the balls, like you're gonna take me out of the ball game. Like I'm probably gonna be throwing up on the sideline. It's gonna suck.
I don't know,
but
bro.
I'm good to go.
I don't
tomorrow.
know. What about Mitch Haniger, bro?
That's
a
dude.
different
Don't make fun of Mitch Haniger.
I'm not making fun of Mitch Haniger. I'm just bringing up a scenario.
That is a different scenario, and like all the respect due to Mitch Haniger. Like for those of you who don't know, he literally has one ball remaining.
I know.
But either way, I mean, I bet he would be able. Like that's not going to inhibit his season. Probably he still hits home runs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like one ball is good enough, right? I hope that that's not the case with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Obviously, you need two knees to play baseball, and I think that the World Baseball Classic, I'm gonna kind of spin it like this as maybe a positive, because we can know how he's doing. We can see how he's playing. If he's in the World Baseball Classic smacking home runs, then there's no problem.
Good. I just don't want to have a case scenario where he's smacking home runs for the first couple games, and then he's like, oh, I'm out for the tournament. I got to go back to Blue Jays camp and get evaluated.
Right.
I'm gone now.
Yeah.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, and actually, you see on this tweet right here replying, you got live Jays updates asking the same question and say, wonder if he's going to miss the World Baseball Classic. And we have seen some players, a lot of players actually, dropping out. Alejandro Kirk had to drop out. No injury there at all. Just literally just like a ramping up thing, you know, where it's like, hey, like I got to be with the team at some point. My kid just got born. You know, there's a lot of shit going on in my life right now. So like I gotta prioritize here.
Right. Okay. So let me spin it this way. Maybe I'll spin it to anybody who feels like me, who's like worried about the World Baseball Classic. I think now, considering it, if he's going to the World Baseball Classic, that's actually a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Because that means he is not injured.
Exactly. As long as, that's the thing. As long as we just trust Guerrero to know his body better than everybody, it's a good thing that he's playing because he is going to be at full game speed, and that means that he's good to go.
Just don't hurt yourself, Vladdy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just don't. And you know what?
You scared me today, bro.
Well, I will say this right now, and to all of those watching, thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. But there is going to be some injuries from the World Baseball Classic. There is going to be some. Like, of course there is. It's just like the way of it. You're going to have probably 1 or 2 big MLB stars get injured at the World Baseball Classic.
That's going to be horrible.
Which sucks. It's just going to happen, though.
I know.
It's just going to happen, right?
It's going to be horrible.
You're going to be playing like at 100%, 110% game speed.
Playoff energy.
Playoff
energy in March.
Exactly. Playoff energy. You're going like crazy. 0 to 100 just like that. I mean, there's gonna be some injuries. Fingers crossed. It's not the Blue Jays. I mean, fingers crossed. It's nobody. I'd love it to be nobody.
But preferably not.
I mean,
the Blue Jays.
obviously, like having Vladimir Guerrero go down is gonna hurt our season horribly. But this is how it happens, man. You play sports, you get hurt.
Well, Katie here with a great point. If he's smacking home runs, he can walk around the bases. So there you go.
Literally,
you won't even need to run.
Yeah,
no
dude,
more going in the second.
If you're doing the whole like 2021 experience, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like how much running is really needed?
No, nothing.
Not
you're good.
That much. 55 people in here, guys. Can we bump this thing up to 25 likes? That would make the boys feel real good. Now, I want to get into what happened in this past spring training game today at some point. But actually, before we do it, considering Adam, you just pulled this up, I do want to talk about this a little bit. Let's switch over to the screen so they can see it.
This is dope. I read this this afternoon. Have you got a chance to read this?
I haven't yet.
All right, so this right here I thought was really cool. New look Blue Jays. Draw rave reviews, from rival managers, quoting, "They're a powerhouse." Shout out to Victoria for delivering Nick his dinner. That's why, guys, you gotta subscribe to the YouTube channel because we are putting in work. We don't have time to eat, and we just gotta deliver content. But right here, guys. Around the AL East, you've got a ton of managers that are talking about how good the Blue Jays are. Baltimore Orioles skipper Brandon Hines saying that that's one of the toughest, if not toughest, lineups to face. Not even just in the AL East, in MLB.
Yeah.
Even with all the additions that we made this offseason and all the departations that we've had to our lineup, it's still one of the scariest in the league.
Absolutely, man. I mean, like, people around the league have taken notice of what these Blue Jays have done this offseason. And not just this offseason, but before, right? Like, if you're a manager, and this is something that we don't talk about enough, but if you're a manager, right, this has been arguably the best offense in the last 2 years. I mean, it's
I would argue best offense last year. Even though we were second in runs scored, we were first in average, first in on-base percentage, first in slugging, and first in OPS. Like, that sounds like pretty number one to me.
I mean, it's pretty top tier, right? Like, we've been really good at offense for a while now, right? And most of our elites, our core, are still there. And, you know, like, we got other guys that can also hit, like Varsho and others, right? So I totally understand how people are looking at this team and going, holy crap, like, their offense is still top tier. They upgraded their bullpen. They upgraded their pitching. How are we gonna beat them?
Yeah. You know, it's just a nice nod to see that other teams are really liking what we're doing. And I've been watching a lot of John Boy media, and they were talking about the Red Sox the other day. Yeah. And I noticed Jimmy. And then Jimmy, if you're watching, I noticed you. In the last few years, Jimmy's been down on the Blue Jays, you know, for rightful reasons. We never really made playoffs in the 2021 year. 2022 we did. Got swept, but he really loves what the Blue Jays did this offseason.
Totally, man.
And it's good to see recognition, because we over here, we're kind of giving ourselves a lot of doubt. You know, like, are they making the right moves? Was trading, like, you know, literally our trailer, was trading, you know, Teoscar Hernandez away the right decision? But I think it is, and a lot of people think it is. Even if it fails, it's like, oh, well, you at least did a big move, a bunch of moves that should have worked, but unfortunately it didn't.
And I mean, shout out to John Boy, man. Like, he is a stickler when it comes to the pitching. He's a stickler when it comes to the pitching.
Yes.
And respect, man. I feel like all of the people that know baseball recognize that that's where the main focus needs to be.
It needs
Not
to be.
all the focus, but obviously the main focus needs to be on the pitching. I think he recognizes that the Toronto Blue Jays, this is a pitching staff, barring any serious injuries and assuming that everybody performs the way that we think that they are going to perform, that's going to be really good. And we go out and we address the bullpen too, and the bullpen's getting better, right? Like, are we going to watch a team that has a top 10 bullpen? Maybe for the first time in a long time. I'm not guaranteeing
I know, but
I'm saying
it could
maybe.
Be. It could be.
It's possible, and that's not something that I could tell you a year, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Could we potentially have a top 10 rotation? I'm not guaranteeing it, but maybe. These are things that are well within the realm of possibility.
Absolutely, man. And I look at teams like the Red Sox, I look at teams like the Orioles, who got good offenses. I will put nothing past those offenses. They can challenge our pitching staff any day.
Totally.
They're really good. But why do I put them at the bottom, right? The bottom 4, bottom 5 teams of the AL East? It's because they got no one pitching.
They're missing
nobody.
Like the guy who's going to pitch those first 5 innings, who's it going to be?
Who?
Because both of them have actually pretty good bullpens right now. Both of those teams have pretty good bullpens.
They do. But
which guy is going to bring you into the 6th inning? Who's it going to be?
Corey Kluber?
You got to get
Chris
there at
Sale?
some point, right? Like, we're at a position right now where most of the guys, especially if Jose Barrios and Yusei Kikuchi can get any sort of bounce back going, even if there is some Alek Manoah aggression or Kevin Gausman aggression, if those guys can bounce back, we're laughing.
Oh, 100%.
We are laughing. In fact, that's probably even better. I would prefer if Manoah regress and Gossman regress and Barrios and Kikuchi do better, because what that means is that every single game just became winnable.
100%.
If Manoah's got a 3 ERA, that's still a winnable game.
Dude, if we averaged on our team a 3.5 ERA, guess what? We're going to be like close to a 100-win ball team. That's 3.5 runs a game. Dude, we could score 4 runs. We could score 5 runs. Yeah. That's no problem.
Exactly. Right. And I think that is a lot of what our management kind of... It's the mentality that they took. We need to have a team that can pitch and play defense. Yeah. And give this offense that's number 1 a chance to win.
I know.
They haven't had a chance to win because we keep getting fucking down in the second inning.
You know what our problem was last year? We'd be up, and then we'd go down because of the bullpen.
Yeah, and that's been a concern.
Or Kikuchi would be starting.
I'm very excited, by the way. Like, this is just like kind of... I'm not really off topic, but just to throw it into the universe right now, very excited for Eric Swanson, and I feel like that's somebody that agree. Like, that is a move that happened many moons ago. It's like that was a very early on in the offseason move that happened, and lots of things have transpired since then and whatever. And I feel like we've kind of forgotten about it a bit.
Absolutely.
It's just not getting talked about as much as it should. But that is definitely a high impact move that I am very, very excited for.
I've even heard from Mariners camp that they're kind of regretting the Teoscar Hernandez trade because they recognize he's got to get paid.
He does.
We can't pay this guy. Yeah. We got to pay J-Rod. We got to pay our young pitchers. Like, we just traded away a good bullpen guy for the next 3 years for a guy for 1 season.
Totally.
Why didn't we get back Mitch Haniger? All these other question marks. They do not like the move.
Interesting.
Like, where on our end, yes, it hurts to lose a player that's really close to us, but if you were to tell me on paper, okay, you got this, like, slugger for 1 year, or you're going to have this literally top-end, like, setup guy, number 8, like 8-inning guy, for next 3 years, I might take the 3-year setup guy.
I don't disagree with you, man.
Because think about the war.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? No, it's going to be more.
I hear you, man. 85 people in here. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so, guys. Let's see if we can bump this thing up to 35 likes. Big shout out to whoever number 35 is. Let's look at some of the stats from today's game. Kevin Gausman makes his spring training debut with the Toronto Blue Jays. He did not play a spring training game last year. This is the first one that he has ever played in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform.
Kind of crazy.
Kind of nuts, actually. Kind of nuts.
Right? Why? No one is actually talking about why.
I'll be honest, man, and I don't really want to say this on our live YouTube channel, but we've definitely heard some rumors about Kevin Gausman. He is a strange man. He is a strange man. I'll put it this way, for those of you who know football, it kind of feels like Kevin Gausman could be the Aaron Rodgers of our team. I'm not saying talent-wise. I'm just saying, like,
lifestyle-wise.
Yeah, you know, like
the rumors. We don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But we know someone who knows someone who knows someone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just saying that Kevin Gausman, in his own personal time, it's not like he does bad things. It's just like, dude, interesting stuff.
But here's the thing. you know, with that lifestyle comes understanding what your body needs, right? Your body, you know what your body needs better than anybody else. And like this is, and if you really think about it, if you really zoom out from a Kevin Gausman perspective, this is a system employed by someone up top saying this is what you're supposed to do to get ready, but Kevin, like everyone's different. Kevin Gausman's body's different.
Man.
He's a veteran.
How did he do today? I actually didn't get to watch the game.
So apparently in the first inning was a little bit rocky. He gave up that earned run. I think he gave up a hit and then a walk and then another hit.
No earned run though.
No earned run. Interesting. Why? But there is a run that scored in the Interesting. Why? Was there an error? Let me look at it on my phone. I hate Google for this exact reason, folks. I'm gonna actually read out to you what happened. I hate Google for this reason.
Eric Shepard watched the game and he says that Varsho and Espinal made terrible running plays today. I know it's spring, but those are fumbles. And I mean, shout out to not really a shout out here, but like to Varsho because he also made kind of a questionable defensive play. Not today, but yesterday, I believe
it wasn't so questionable. It was more like it was a diving play. I was kind of half joking, being like, "Oh, like he's supposed to make those elite plays," but like it's spring training.
He is supposed to make those elite plays.
I know, I know, but it's spring training, so he'll get there. But
I love how that's and I'll keep going back to this, man. Whenever anybody does well, we get on the hype train immediately in spring training. But whenever anybody does poorly. Oh, it's spring training. Like don't worry about it, guys. Which is totally true and valid.
Yeah.
I'm just there is a double standard.
I think that you gotta chalk up spring training as like spring training. Like, don't take any of it seriously. And like, I like to get it hype. I like to hype up spring training.
What do you say, man?
It's pretty fun.
Not gonna hit 500 this year?
No. Like if he hits 250, I'm like, okay.
Oh, I'll take 250, man. Yeah, but yeah, Espinal's obviously on a tear right now. I'm sorry that he had a bad running play today. I feel like we know that Espinal, like, he's good. He's absolutely good. He's not gonna blow the doors off offensively, but like the defense is obviously what puts him over the top there. So
okay, here it is. This is what happened. So Josh Lowe singles on a on a line drive. Okay, then he steals second. Then what happens is Gossman commits an error, pass ball by Rob Brandley. Never mind, so it was the catcher that made an error. So then he advanced to third. Gossman gets a strikeout. Paredes gets a walk, first and third. Then there's a ground out into a force out, which scores a run, then a strikeout swing. So that was the error that cashed in the run. So then he gets on the second inning, gets someone called out on strikes, and then a line out, and then they take him out of the game. It looks like he was up in his pitch count. He threw a total of, drum roll please, whoa, this is a lot of, here we go. What the hell is this?
All right, whatever, man. He threw a lot of pitches, but he got the job done.
I want to find how many. 37. Okay, that was his pitch count. All
right, 37 pitches for Kevin Gausman. Shout out to Gossman for making his first spring training start with the Toronto Blue Jays. Who else did well today? I mean, like, we had Guerrero obviously get on base, and then he left, which sucks. And somebody's saying thoughts on Vlad. Your personal opinion. My personal opinion, man, is
personal opinion.
I trust Guerrero more than anybody. He knows his body more than most people. I would say literally every single person. So whatever he says goes.
So I guess that's thoughts on Vlad injury. But what about thoughts on Vlad in general?
Oh, thoughts on Vlad in general. I mean, obviously, like, top tier. Like, I'm assuming, or I'm not assuming, I'm expecting, like, a really solid year. Like, I think that Guerrero, this is a high expectation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I'm probably gonna be disappointed if Vlad doesn't have a 870 or higher OPS this year.
If he throws up a year similar to last year, I'm gonna be disappointed.
I'm gonna be disappointed. Like, I want it to be... You're a top tier offensive. I don't need you to be MVP.
No, but I mean maybe top 10 MVP.
Sure,
because that's what we're expecting him to be, a top 10 MVP player.
Effectively, I would. Yeah, no, I think that's probably a good way to put it. Yeah, top 10 in MVP votes, and if we're reflecting that in a stats standpoint, that probably means 870 OPS or higher.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, I want to see him. This is me being happy at 900 OPS.
Yeah.
Because if we go, I want to show this to y'all. I think he was in the top somewhat of MVP last year.
Really?
He was top 15.
16,
excuse me.
Yeah.
So he was top 16 last year, which isn't going to cut it. Like, I think he's going to be top 10.
Yeah.
Like, who did what last year? Just to give a comparison. Yeah, like, wow, Verlander in top 10 in votes. Yeah, he's got to do Xander Bogaerts, Mike Trout, Julio Rodriguez numbers.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, that's it, man. You got to do that.
I mean, definitely. Like, I would like Guerrero to be one of the elites of the game. Holy shit, Bo Bichette was higher ranked in MVP
No,
votes.
he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, my God. How? It was probably the end. It's bias. Recency bias.
Interesting, yeah.
Because, he had that really hot September.
Yeah.
Recency bias.
Yeah.
Probably. Because I think Vlad put up better numbers.
He did.
Which is, that's kind of
But,
silly.
I mean, he led the league in hits. That's what it is.
That's what it is. He always leads the league in hits.
Yeah, he led the league in hits, which is always going to get you votes.
Yeah.
I mean, his batting average is good. Everything's good about Bo Bichette. So, yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, Guerrero's top tier, guys. We know it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Vladdy got a ground ball RBI that would have been a double play last year. Shift effect. Great analysis there, Eric. I mean, this is something that we've seen Guerrero struggle with time and time again, and I feel like this is probably going to be something that he is a career thing for him. The ground balls have never gone away, even in his MVP like
led
year.
the league last year in ground outs or ground ball double plays.
Yeah, even in his MVP year, he still had 20.
20, that's a lot.
I mean, like this is not something that's going to go away. Just the same way that Bo Bichette swings and misses and attacks like crazy, Guerrero is going to get ground outs. It's going to happen.
It's kind of nuts. We see it all the time. Like, it almost feels uncanny that in these clutch situations, when someone gets on in front of him, he kills the inning pretty quick, which is kind of nuts.
Which sucks.
Because we want him to drive in those guys.
Because he's our 3-hitter.
Yeah.
But
being picky as hell, though.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, does moving him up in the 2 spot help? I'd rather him get on base. Like, you know what I mean?
I hear what you're
saying.
It's
very,
man.
very, very picky.
I think honestly, like, that is more of a, hey, we're thinking a little bit about this too much. I mean, like, he still had 111 RBIs in this MVP, 97 last year. I think that this is something that he's going to struggle with, and I'm hoping that you're onto something there, Eric, and the fact that maybe the lack of a shift is going to help him out. Maybe some of those balls that typically got swallowed up, maybe those go through. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I hope
so. I've seen a lot of up the middle ground balls from Vladdy.
Totally.
And I feel like with the ban of the shift, they're not going to shift him heavy. Like, the shortstop isn't going to be like on the line.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be playing more oppo, because like Vladdy's not a pull hitter.
No.
He's not. They shift him slightly, but I think he's been pretty straight up.
Yeah. So that would be if we can lower that number. I mean, everybody's got their things that they need to work on. With Guerrero, I'd say it's that,
less than the ground balls, man.
Exactly.
It's always been that.
It's been that for the whole time.
It's like when I think about like everyone's fault, so like of our young core, Biggio can't hit the fastball. Bichette swings at too many sliders in the dirt. Vladdy, it's the ground balls in clutch situations.
Yeah.
It's like they have character traits. Love them.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
They all have character traits.
So what is Manoah's fault? Let's play some devil's advocate right here.
Manoah's fault is he hits people.
Yeah, that's right.
Manoah's fault is that he hits people for sure. And I also think, and this is a good and a bad thing, but I think that Manoah needs to learn to take the emotion out a bit. And I mean, just like he is definitely like, I've seen him get very emotionally attached to what's happening. And like,
in like what situation?
Like I've seen him, like whenever he struggles, and I get it, like you're angry at yourself, like whatever. But it's almost like too much. Like he has. It feels to me like he has. Do you remember when Chris Sale fucking started kicking shit in the dugout and stuff or whatever?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen like
Manoah blow
doing
up like that.
No, have you?
Yeah, of course. Like he'll be like yelling at himself and whatever and swearing and whatnot. And I get it. I love that for him and the fact that he's motivated and driven and everything like that. Yeah. But I feel like Manoah, when he's gonna some of the kind of character traits that he's gonna mature into is he is going to kind of roll with the punches and be okay, because I worry sometimes that when he gets down early, is that emotion factoring in? If we give up a few runs in the first and the second right now, are we still in our brain about that, or can we just lock it in and forget completely?
I mean, to be honest, I'm going just based off my experience of watching the Jays for the last excuse my language, 10 years. Like just watching like Manoah, like I haven't seen him like let that affect him. I don't know a situation where I've seen that affect him and like derail his game. Like, I mean, are you referring towards the game 1 in the wild card game when we went down early?
I'm referring to the whole, and I'm not saying that this is a big issue or anything, but it is something that I've noticed. And I think that as time goes on, we're going to see him become a little bit more collected. That's all I'm saying. Not a horrible note. Really not a horrible note.
Yeah, I think it chalks up to he's passionate. You know, he wants to do well, and when he doesn't, it's, you know, he's going to have emotions, and it is about emotional intelligence and knowing when to show it, when to not show it, and how to process it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like Alek Manoah, like, if he works on anything at this point and grows from what he was yesterday to tomorrow, he's going to be quite the player for
That's
Toronto
what we
Blue
want.
Jays.
That's what we want, man.
Yeah.
We have somebody asking right now, what was the final score? Final score today was 7-6. Let's pull up the stats once again, because there actually was a walk-off here.
Yeah, there was.
So shout out to the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we're talking minor league players right now that are doing this, obviously. But still, spring training walk-offs are nice. Especially against the Tampa Bay Rays, who I absolutely despise. They are my least favorite team by far. That is well documented on this show, on this podcast. They suck, and I hate every single second of them. So anytime that we can beat them, I am all freaking about it.
Wow, I love that. I love that your team that you hate the most is the Rays. Mine's the Yankees.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I get
always
it.
the division.
I definitely get it, but I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, like, they piss me off more than any squad because they shouldn't be good, and they are. And this is the first time that first time in a long time, they are gonna severely go under 500, and they're gonna
severely.
Oh yeah.
Severely.
We're gonna annihilate them, man. We're gonna annihilate them. They're
Dude,
done. They're
every
toasted.
season it's like this, bro. You say they're gonna go like 10 games below the over/under.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be right eventually, right? It's
I
not like
know.
we're not gonna forever be good at baseball. I'm gonna be right eventually.
Clock is what's the saying?
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be right eventually, right? I'm right about a lot of shit. This is one of those things that I continuously get wrong, but I'm gonna get it right one of these times. And I think that this is the year, man. This is the season where these guys are gonna be finishing 4th or 5th in the division.
So we're gonna make that your thing, though, like you versus the Rays.
It is. You know, it's like, I mean, you would say that about the Yankees if you could. Mm-hmm. They're too good.
They're too good. I can't talk smack when we're not.
But
when we do beat them,
yeah.
Oh, buddy, am I gonna be talking some smack?
100%.
I think we could beat the Rays, though. You know, so like, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure. Oh,
we can beat the Rays. I think the fucking Orioles can beat the Rays, man. I think the Orioles are better than the Rays. I don't think that the Boston Red Sox are better than the Rays. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's getting closer.
I do think the Rays are still better than the Orioles just because of that pitching. The pitching's phenomenal. Yes, the pitching's way better.
McClanahan is very good at baseball, for sure.
All their depth is better than the Orioles' depth.
I hear what you're saying, man, but it's not going to work out this year. Something's going to fall off. They're going to figure them out. You know, like, this is just, it's one of those things, man, where, like, they were a few years ahead of the league. Now those years have gotten up. We've done our research. The book's out.
All right, we guys, that's gonna be interesting to see, man. Oh man, I just want baseball. Shout out to Katie as well, one of our YouTube members. Earlier, she was saying, like, I'm just so happy to watch baseball again.
100%.
We should all appreciate that. You know, like, that's incredible.
100%, guys. That's where we cut it off for the rewatchability on this stream. So shout out to everybody who is watching with us right now and going to be watching this in, I guess, the future. You guys are freaking awesome. So if you're watching right now, stick with us. We're going to have a lot more Q&A section coming up. But thanks so much for watching, everybody.
And go Jays, go! You Yankees! You Rays!